Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, March 30th. Literature with the chicken. All honesty, this is the third chicken for the day. So, literature with a chicken is sometimes trying. Anyways, I have a couple of updates for you. I want to read a couple of quotes from the play to you that I think are important. Hopefully, you got a chance to watch it and answer some questions about it over the weekend. But there were a couple of things I wanted to point out. But first, the updates that I'm aware of. Number one, the president announced yesterday that they are extending the recommendations for social distancing through the month of April. Now, I don't know what that means for us and online learning. What I do know is the Florida Department of Education says that they are following CDC guidelines, but I've not heard anything from Florida or from our school or Principal Stidham, so still kind of up in the air, I guess. But like I said, the president did speak yesterday and say that they were extending the directive to continue social distancing, staying home through April. So we'll see what happens. That being said, if you recall, when we were in school and looking at the calendar, senior final exams were originally scheduled for the first week in May. And they made some changes to that schedule. I don't really know how that impacts us since I don't know for certain that we're going to be back in May. If we are, then that schedule would hold. But what I also got in the update was instead of an exam, teachers could assign projects or essays. And that being said, we are able to make the due date earlier in order to have time to grade the essays and projects. So what I'm looking at is modifying the final exam for you guys that I had originally planned to be something different that would be a paper that you'd have to do some research for, but I know you're all capable of that, and making that due date sometime the last week in April. It'll be doable. Anybody worrying about their grades, please don't. It's a pretty straightforward assignment. We'll work on what I expect, maybe the third week in April, and then your assignment would be due the fourth week in April, or at the very latest by the final exam due date, which I'll share with you when I'm certain about it. So that being said, I don't want you to have to spend a whole lot of time on the video today, but I do want you to comment so I know you got that update on the final exam schedule. And I want to read a little bit of scene 4 to you. Let me get on here. Chicken. And tell you what I have. All right. So if you watched it or read it, you recall in scene 3, Tom and Amanda kind of have it out, and he leaves the house in a storm, and on his way out accidentally smashes some of Laura's glass, which Laura's glass is the only thing she really cares about, and Tom immediately feels horrible because he loves Laura. He doesn't want to hurt her, but in his kind of fit of anger, he knocks the glass over. When he comes home that night, he'd been out drinking. He says he goes to the movies. I don't know. But clearly wherever he goes, there's other things going on because he says there was a Garbo picture and a magician, and the magician changed water into wine and then wine into whiskey. And Tom knows that because he volunteered to sample it. So he's drunk. But he says the biggest trick, and here's this quote that I keep saying to you, the biggest trick that the magician did, but the wonderfulest trick of all, was the coffin trick. We nailed him into a coffin, and he got out of the coffin without removing one nail. There is a trick that would come in handy to get me out of this 2x4 situation. He doesn't want to have to remove a nail. In other words, he doesn't want to cause chaos and problems and hardship by his leaving, but he feels as though he's in a coffin. And then he says, the quote, "You know, it don't take much intelligence to get yourself into a nailed-up coffin, Laura. but who in hell ever got himself out of one without removing one nail? Amanda's still not talking to Tom because she's angry with him and says she won't ever talk to him again unless he apologizes. Laura tries to talk him into going to apologize. Amanda sends Laura out to get some groceries, and now Tom and Amanda are kind of stuck together. And Tom says, "Mother, I apologize. I'm sorry for what I said, for everything that I said. I didn't mean it." And then Amanda says what I've been telling you guys all along. She loves these kids desperately and just doesn't know what to do. Because she says, "My devotion has made me a witch, and so I make myself hateful to my children." She knows that she's a pain in the butt. She knows she nags. She knows she's on them too much. She's too devoted. And she knows that doing it makes her children hate her, but she just can't help herself. She loves them so much. She's willing to have them hate her for the amount of care she shows. She tells Tom, "I've had to put up a solitary battle all these years, but you're my right-hand bower. Don't fall down. Don't fail." He's all she has. He's earning the salary. He's earning the income. He's the head of the household, even though she rules the roost. And she tells him, "You're my right-hand man. Don't fall down. Don't fail." And Tom says, "I try." That's all he can do. "I try." She says, "Try and you will succeed. Why, you're just full of natural endowments, both of my children. They're unusual children. Don't you think I know it? I'm so proud, happy, and feel I've so much to be thankful for. But promise me one thing." Then she asks him not to be a drunk, and he says he won't. Amanda is trying to get him to eat and take milk in his coffee and kind of nag him about eating again. And she says, and this is true for today, right now, we have to do all that we can to build ourselves up. In these trying times we live in, all that we have to cling to is each other. That's true. We have to do all that we can to build ourselves up. In these trying times we live in, all that we have to cling to is each other. That's a really good quote. And you know what? I have other quotes from that play and that scene, and I think I'm just going to save them for tomorrow. And I think we're just going to end on that quote. In these trying times, I'm going to read it one more time because it's so good. We have to do all that we can to build ourselves up. In these trying times we live in, all that we have to cling to is each other. Be kind. The chicken says, "Be kind. Be safe. Wash your hands. We'll get through this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to post in the comments so I can take attendance and so that I know you got the update. Know I miss you. Know I hope the best for all of you, that you're all staying well, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great Monday. See you all later."